Hey, Lee Wolf here. Welcome to Game Face Monday. We are live, and it is a beautiful day here in the Northeast. As always, Mr. Richie Bello is sitting by my side. How you doing, Richie?
Greatly, how are you today?
All right, hanging in there, hanging in there. I'm excited about the show. Definitely a topic I've been very interested in, and definitely have been wanting to pick your brain on. Today, we're going to be talking about reviews and their effects on, well, definitely loyalty and overall revenue in the business, especially the automotive industry. But first, we're just going to jump away for a few seconds just to hear from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos. Before you spend another dime on marketing and advertising, inspect what you expect. The SSA VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos is the answer. Do you know your retention status? You might be losing hundreds of customers a month, but what if you could keep just a few more? Each retained customer means thousands in revenue, adding up to millions per year. The SSA VIN retention report is the inspection tool you've been looking for. Find out what you're missing before it costs you. All right, welcome back. Thanks to everyone for watching and listening, as always. All right, so the topic of reviews and their impact. If you look at, let's say, catering halls first, right? You could have a beautiful view, serve the most exquisite food in the whole wide world, and still get pounded online with bad reviews. In the automotive industry, I mean, they know the car usually they want before they walk in these days. They're researching. They know half the time they know more than the salesperson about the vehicle when they walk in. They can be delivered the perfect, clean, wonderful vehicle, but same thing, they can walk out the door and have an experience that they just feel they have to complain about online. They have to give, 1-star review, terrible experience for whatever that reason is. Overall, what do you feel are customers reviewing the experience?
Well, here's what it is, too. So let's talk about something. You come in and you book a wedding. You're happy. Your wedding is tomorrow, right? You waited a whole year. You're happy. You give us a good review.
Right.
Within that wedding, say 150 people, you know that 150 people, there's going to be a percentage of people that are for the wedding and a percentage of people that don't like you because the other half or some bullshit that happened, this, that. And who gets hammered? That catering hall. Because they're upset about
Right.
something that happened and you invited them.
Right.
Right? With me, when somebody knows something happened, they know because I speak it, I tell you, right away. I don't hide shit, right? You know that. So these people are not like that till something happens. Now, JD Powers has this report in the hospitality business out there is 1% to 2% of the people that might not agree with you getting married. Okay. The other thing that's happening is we've learned that you also got ex-employees that are unhappy with you, right?
Yeah.
And then when they're unhappy, they write this stuff. There's a catering hall out there that has this review. I left already for a year, but I'm unhappy with the way I was addressed. Well, if you were unhappy with the way you were addressed while working there, why not say that person wrote down she was an employee. She said it with an alias name. She said, I used to work there and I know this. You see? So Google's aware of that. Yelp is aware of that.
Right.
Right now, the reputation of people, they're getting involved in it because people just going out there and just hammering people away. That's not true. So the review becomes useless.
Right.
Now it gets to the point where that review becomes useless. But as a business owner, okay, we have to really pay attention to something. There was a company called Grade Us. I was a part of that company, had an acquisition and got sold. It was a review management thing. Grade Us always said, Google's going to stop giving you keywords, this, that. That wasn't true. That was just a marketing perspective. So we were there with the beginning with them. We helped them out back and forth. So he had an acquisition and whatever. I'm going to show you my screen because I have the data of this, that now it is happening. Okay. So let me present here. Share screen. It's okay. This thing here is not as easy as Zoom. Share screen. Let me first show you. This is Windows. This is one landing page that has the keywords. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
45 skipped. That's the landing page that has the most keywords. Okay.
And what does that mean? 45 skipped.
That means where the keywords are, they didn't index it. So if you don't index it, you're not getting anything. The tags are there, everything is there, but by Google not indexing, you're not getting anything, right?
Wow.
Okay, now I'm going to show you something else. Now let's look at yesterday's Windows. That's the whole website. 430 was skipped. Images, 810 were skipped. This is all the keywords. I want to show you another one, right? This is what all the keywords. Now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
Google is stopping you when you have anywhere between 4.5 or something like that, okay? Now I'm going to show you 16 index, 16 covered. I don't have any bad reputation on here. I don't even have Google Maps. 12 discovered, bang.
So what do you mean by Google is skipping you when you have what?
Yes, so let me just go over this, right? So this is the software. Richie Bello, everything is good. No problems. Okay, discovered, nothing was done. So let me show you something, right? So let's go over this, right? Let's talk about a little bit why reputation is important. Right. So you have something called on-site SEO. On-site SEO is you write a blog, you tag it, right, on a website, right? You got to get through Google Search Console index.
Right.
We happen to have an automated system because we have a partner that developed the software, and it's the same thing as going to the Google console and getting it with the sitemaps index. So if you put these tags on Lee Wolf, Richie Bello, Shop Smart Autos, VIN retention, and all that, you put the tag. But if Google's not indexing it, you're not going to get the keywords.
Right.
Okay. That's the process. So you're supposed to do that on the Google Search Console. We don't do it like that because, I mean, you know, we have partnerships and they give us the beta, and, you know, we have a lot of different software that we share too. So they just give us that, and I don't have to have it manually done. It does it automated while I'm sleeping. Bang. But in that process, this is a very good software that everybody should buy. Personal friend of ours, and a partner of the software, right? Real good software. It gets indexed. You don't have to do bad. You know, it's all automated. So I just launch it, and that's it. And it's a great tool. You guys should look it up. It's one of our partners, and it's very effective. It indexes you. The tags, the content, the tags, you do that, that's great. But if you don't index them, Google doesn't recognize it, so you don't go on the search.
Right.
So Google stops indexing you a lot of pages. And usually we're doing testing. It's usually the pages that we have tags with keywords.
And why is
that? Are the most important pages for us.
Right.
because without those pages, we don't rank. So, guys, Google is controlling that now. Now they're controlling this because I have all the data. I'm getting ready to do a press release with all the data for the last 7 months. And let me tell you something about ranking. Ranking's only important if you do ads for conversion. Ranking's never gonna. The guy says, "I want to rank. I want to rank." Well, what do you want to rank? Because ranking will never get you a lead. SEO will never get you a lead. But what ranking does do, when you run ads, like we have the ad search, the page search for a lot of different companies. When we run ads and they leave that ad and then they key in weddings and you don't come up, you got no conversion.
Right.
That's the problem. And Google's aware of that, and Yelp is aware of that. Let's talk about Yelp. So Yelp is a very good product. We are really thinking about bringing Yelp into Shop Smart Autos. We're in the process of that. Yelp is a very good product, and it helps dealers when you have a good reputation. And even when you don't, Yelp has a great ad network. Amazing. Conversion doesn't matter what your score is. Yelp, there's certain things you can fix today with Yelp. And I know dealers don't like Yelp. Well, understanding the service that Yelp provides to a consumer and understanding the service that Yelp provides to the dealership, Mr. Dealer, if you understand those two things, you can see Yelp is a very good product. The ads are close to nothing, and the ads have tremendous conversion. Tremendous conversion. We did tests for a few businesses, and we got great conversion.
Right.
So the review problem is really a problem now. It used to be like, well, is it a problem? Am I getting indexed? Who cares? All about Google. Google's penalizing you now in more ways than you know.
Right.
I don't have a naked eye. People tell me something, I really don't believe what anybody tells me. I just don't. I get the data first.
Right.
I don't believe nothing anybody tells me because people bend the truth for their convenience.
Right.
It happens all the time. And I'm not saying they're lying. They're just bending the truth, whatever that truth might be. So I go to the data. When people told me, Richie, this is happening. I have a partner that told me that this is happening. Does anybody done the test? No. But we know what's happening. Well, how do you know? What do you got, a crystal ball?
Right.
I have to run tests. This test has been running for 6 months, and I got a few catering halls that I'm running, more testing, and doing comparisons, analogy, and find out what's going on. So, and you can't fix it. Let me tell you why you can't fix it. Once you don't get the keywords, your conversion drops on ads. You're still going to do business. Of course you are. Yes, you are. But it's going to, cost of acquisition is going to be higher because now when they bounce off the ad, it's either on Facebook or Instagram, and they search the keyword, you don't come up. If somebody's looking to get married, they're going to put in weddings near me.
Right.
Wedding halls. And you don't come up, you got a problem.
Yeah.
Now, whoever comes up is going to get that because you might have put that customer that was thinking about it in the shopping mode.
Right.
But if you put that in, they look, wow, this is credibility. Look, they come up.
Right. Right.
So that's a problem now, what they're doing. And I have the proof to show the websites that don't have Google My Business, what they're indexing, and other ones. And Windows this catering hole is small. the website's small. You can't compare that to ShopSmart, where I have a landing page for 19,800 dealers, number one.
Right.
Plus 60,000 used car dealers. I have a national directory, okay? So, I mean, that's a problem where I get indexed 100% of the time, and they don't.
So is that a direct reflection of review problems?
Yeah, that's correct. That is what we've learned, is that is review, because they say it. If they say it online.
So what do you need to be at?
Google platform and they say it online. Now it's true. They always said that online, but it wasn't true. It was just a marketing approach that these reputation management has, like Bird Eyes, Grade Us, and the list goes on.
So where do you need to rank? About 4.6?
4.6 to 4.7, and we've learned that right around 4.7, you're okay.
Yeah, because the Google software that I work with, managing a couple of accounts, their business pages, a lot of times the software will say you need to get more positive reviews. You need to be a 4.6 or higher, and it's tough because it's like if you get.
They've always said that, but a lot of times that's a marketing perspective.
Yeah.
And I just check it out. I've done this before, and it's always been indexed with no problem. Before the software, I had it all indexed. So, and now it's not happening. And now a lot of these companies are reaching out that they're losing the rankings, and the rankings, there's podcasts and everything. What's going on? Did Google change their SEO core because of this AI? No, actually, if you have a low score like that, you got a problem. So, and Yelp's another big deal too, because understand, nobody uses Bing a lot, but there are some people that use it. And Bing, their Google My Business is Yelp.
Right.
Okay, so then you got a problem too, because they're doing the same thing.
Right. And
if you're not getting indexed, there's no reason for you to do on-site SEO. Things are changing real fast, and the AI is good. Then you get no SEO, but more important, you get no AI search either. AEO, you don't get any of that either.
Right.
That kills your conversion.
So now
you're still going to do business, but what happens is the cost of acquisition gets so high that you got a problem. Because now, what does it cost for this customer to come in, Richie? I figure about $1,200. But one of your competitors does it for $450. Now your cost goes up.
Right.
When your cost goes up, your profits drop.
Right.
And when your profits drop, you got a big problem.
Sure.
You have to try to be at a cost of acquisition in this industry, $4 or $5. The car business is a car business, because really, even if the cost of acquisition is $1,400, they get co-op and they do this and they that. It doesn't matter. And the car business has a residual effect too. So if their cost for acquisition is $1,400, that customer is going to spend money in service and in parts.
Right.
It doesn't matter. The life of that customer is long term. In the catering, somebody gets married, they get married once. See you later. Have a nice day.
Right.
Okay, so it's a whole different type of business. You know what I mean?
So would you say, let's say 70% of negative reviews, if 7 out of 10 of them are real, 3 of them are crazy people or people that work there and they just have a bad, taste in their mouth, or some people make stuff up, but let's say 7 out of the 10 are real. Does it come down? What are the solutions then for the catering or auto dealers, whoever it is, whatever store, corporation it is does it come down to a better hiring process and training process? This seems to be a rampant issue right now.
It comes to better paperwork in your hiring process.
Right.
Because I would put a process with one of our lawyers with a hiring process. I mean, and they would be in trouble doing that kind of stuff.
Right.
Has to do with reputation. Look, the government is very aware of it. Google's very aware of it, of the people that are doing this, you know. I had an experience with somebody that didn't do what he was supposed to do, and we hold back his money. It was $100. Imagine he writes something on LinkedIn. Well, he don't have the LinkedIn no more. LinkedIn took him down, you know.
Mhm.
LinkedIn is not a drama like Facebook.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. He reaches out. I had all the data, what he did and what he said he was going to do, and didn't do anything like that. We did a test. It was $100 test, so we paid him. So that's it. But LinkedIn, we reported it because I don't want anybody the bad taste like that, right?
Right.
But
Right.
if somebody does that, you know that they're hustling. I mean, in LinkedIn, I would tell people stay away from those people that send you messages on LinkedIn. And myself, don't message me if you do go high level because I have partners.
Right.
I have Sean Clark, number one. Number two, I have Gator Funnel. Don't message me.
Right.
Don't message me because you're not going to get my business with Go High Level. Go away already.
Right. Right.
They're just hustling you. They're just like, it's just a bad thing. They're worse than anything. Okay. And, you know, and then they use, you know, I'm partners with a Gator Funnel. I worked with Gator Funnel and I'll do it cheaper. Then before you know it, they're scams.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and they hit you on WhatsApp. I didn't even tell them my WhatsApp, but they know right away your WhatsApp because they go to Facebook. They start scraping it, and they know it's connected. It's these
WhatsApp's
bunch
like-
of scams that are happening today. It's like crazy already.
Yeah.
And
WhatsApp
I
can be
wouldn't pay attention to any message. I don't pay attention to any message that comes in to LinkedIn.
Mhm.
I'm not interested. I say no, 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 no. Stop it already.
Right.
Stop it already. I mean, LinkedIn should shut that down because
Mhm.
there's so many scams. And I'm saying this on the podcast, and I'm on LinkedIn. LinkedIn shut down these people that are scamming business owners.
Yep.
Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a scam.
I had a woman claiming to be a CEO of a company try to steal my identity.
Right.
And all I had to do was Google her and look back at a few articles and things. And she not only tried to steal my identity, she tried to steal her own mother's identity.
Right.
And here she was with PowerPoint presentations, explaining the whole job to me, brought other team members in to introduce me to what the job would be and such. This was a few years back, but
It's terrible.
it was pretty intense. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
but they were very quickly asking for my social security number and information before I even knew if I was hired or what the compensation would be or anything. And I got a little skeptical, and then they got angry. And that's when I knew, let me start researching this person specifically. And believe it or not, she was still using the same name, and she even tried to steal her mother's identity. So,
Wow.
she stole her mother's identity, actually.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty heavy. But
So apart from reviews, we got a lot of stuff going on, like the grants, the veterans. So we're doing this pilot for the U.S. government out in Florida.
mhm.
Larry Feldman is leading that. So, you know, we're doing that. Also, in the next few weeks, we have somebody that's doing an event at the beach club using the beach club URL and everything. And it's incubator accelerator with 12 investors. All right. And we have the agenda already. We have all these things already. So we're getting ready to launch that event September the 20th. And it's going to be a good event. People that are looking for software companies that are looking for minimum anywhere from 2.5 to 4 million. There'll be 12 investors there, and there'll be an elevator pitch. We have the whole document, elevator pitch up to I believe it's 2.5 minutes. And there's only 10 tickets that are available for the VIP. The VIP means that you sit down with that investor for 45 minutes, right?
Mhm.
And if you get the VIP ticket and you have software that you need anywhere from 2.5 to 4, you sit down with that investor for 45 minutes. There's only 10 tickets
Wow.
available VIP. So we got
So it's a
a lot
software
of
Shark
those
Tank.
guys are from family office and hedge fund companies
Hmm.
Directly. And we have this very good event, and it's going to be September the 20th, and we're excited about that. So we have a lot of excitement going on. I'm very excited about this event that Anthony Angola did. Great event. Unfortunately I wasn't able to go, but I sponsored the event with the cocktail hour or whatever he had there. You don't even know what I sponsored, just know he sent me the image. But the Institute sponsored that. The reason is because, Anthony's a veteran. Anthony's a very good friend of mine, and I think the event was good. Now, some people say there wasn't a lot of dealers there, and listen, he had the audience there. Vendors, dealers, it don't matter. You have an opportunity to meet people in your same industry.
Yeah.
Okay. And especially with Anthony, he's a great guy. And I've always sponsored him, and every time I could. Sometimes there was a little bit, sometimes it was this, sometimes whatever. But I will always sponsor Anthony Angola appointments that show, because I feel he's very good at what he does, and he's a friend, and I feel he got tremendous talent. So it was a good event. I'm very, very happy about the event. I'm very, very happy that we gave him a sponsorship on the cocktail hour.
Very cool. And Ignite Your Might, which is on Amazon right now, your book, selling pretty well from what I'm hearing.
Well, I got the last time 40. I'm going to tell you something what happened. I lost my passport and I lost all the information. So as I started selling the book, they want identity proof. So I have to wait to get my new passport. So, I mean, listen, I lost my wallet 3 or 4 times. I just lost my wallet, and I got to travel, and I only have one card that I that it came in. I don't even know how I'm going to do it, but I'll get it done.
Yeah.
So I will lose my head if it wasn't attached to me, because I'm going and going and going, and I'm exhausted, but it happens, Yeah. I lost my wallet again, What am I supposed to do?
All right, let's break away for 1 minute for another message from Shop Smart Autos.
Shop Smart Autos knows the new car market is starting to take a back seat, and pre-owned is where it's at. That's why it's time to seriously tap into the private seller market. With Shop Smart Autos, your dealership can now target private sellers by zip code and radius. Yes, anyone looking to sell their vehicle in your area. Once you decide how many opportunities you want and start reaching out, Shop Smart Autos launches a complete dealer-branded nurture program that drives those sellers straight to your showroom. And the best part? You get all the details on the seller and the vehicle, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. So grab that trade, put them behind the wheel of their next vehicle, and create a world of growth and retention. Auctions are cutting into your profits, and sourcing quality pre-owned vehicles takes too much time. Shop Smart Autos has the answer, driving the private seller market to your door.
So, and just as a little preview, not that we want to go too far into it, but I know next week there's a pretty good shot. We have Dr. John, is it Minarchik on the show?
Minarchik, yeah.
Yeah. So, and interesting enough, I think that the topic of reviews, we should be bringing that up to him as well, because I know he has a very, he deals with like a very interesting system for hiring and placing people.
Yes.
Yeah. So that alone could be something for businesses to think more about. If you're constantly getting hit with reviews about, the view was beautiful and the food was great, but the staff treated us like garbage, or, the car was perfect and it's the exact perfect car that we wanted and the price wasn't bad, but man, we sat there for 7 hours waiting to leave. or it was dirty when they delivered it, from prep. Those kinds of things. A lot of like, I can't imagine some of the reviews that I read out there, some of the things that go down in places. I would never put myself in that kind of a position with a company. If I'm working for a company, I might lose my patience a little. I might have to walk away a little bit once in a while and hold my breath. But to berate customers or treat them like they don't matter, make them sit around and not make them part of an experience instead of just sitting there watching a TV, and just waiting in a lobby. Definitely, I'm very interested to pick Dr. John's brain on how this testing could help people with the hiring process to really know if they're getting candidates that make sense.
Well, Dr. John, I know him quite some time, 30-something years. And before review came out online, before review was a way of our life, Dr. John ran focus group and actually made changes in big organizations, $1 billion more in revenue organizations, because he wouldn't go to these small organizations. And he would have focus groups, and all changes that were made were based on the voice of the customer.
Right.
So before this review came out, in the 90s, we were doing that. The voice of the customer. So you have an organization, you feel you got a problem or something, and then we would come in, we would have a focus group, and we will listen to the customer. And we would put a process together and a whole thing for that. Like J.D. Powers, McGraw-Hill, that was a big thing. That was a big acquisition and all that. That's into the voice of the customers. Yeah. To see how Jay Powell ran it versus McGraw-Hill, what are they doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
These are organizations that Dr. John's very in tune with, and Dr. John knows about reviews through that perspective.
Right.
It's because he had that product line before Google existed. There was no Google in the 90s.
Yeah. Do you remember the suggestion box?
Oh, what?
Suggestion box. A lot of businesses, hotels, they would have suggestion boxes.
Yeah, so we would put the stickies on the wall and get the voice of the customer. We would write it down and put it up there, and then we would funnel that into a plan and into a deliverable plan. You know what I mean? To the organization and say, this is the voice of the customer. So we might do 10 people today. In another 2 weeks or 3, we do 5. We would mix it on age group.
Yeah.
We do psychology. Dr. John's a psychologist, right? So we would mix it all that. In my younger years, I learned that process because I was like there with him. I was basically like his sidekick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I learned a lot throughout the years about that process. And then today with the review thing, I've been doing that for quite some time. Yeah. And here's what I removed one review. I've removed a lot of them through Google. But I removed one review, Lee, that when I clicked and checked who else they reviewed, they had 12 reviews, restaurant, pizzeria, all locally, and they weren't happy with anything. And they basically all said the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So is it really the catering hall that had the problem, or do the customer have the problem?
Yeah. Yeah, the scariest thing is when you get a bad review and you look, because you could always click and look at all the different places that person reviewed, and they love everything else. That's when
this customer was the same type of thing, went to events, everybody, she had 12 reviews, and all 12 reviews were bad. Even Carvel's, she gave her a bad review. How could you give Carvel's a bad review?
Yeah. You can hand some people a stack of cash and they'll review how badly you handed it to them.
Right. So this customer has a problem.
Right.
With how she might be or he might be perceiving the information. Right. By the way, there's plenty of people that have a problem when they receive communication from you. They
Right.
perceive it as totally different.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
perception is their reality.
Yeah.
That's
That's
one
it.
review that we really got, and we were working with Google back and forth, and they finally says, yes, we understand.
Yeah.
Today's a different world. Today you can actually get reviews removed if you can state what happened. How could that
Right.
person have a problem with this catering hall when they had 11 or 12 bad reviews? Pizza, Carvel's, this,
Yeah.
that, everywhere.
Yeah.
They didn't have one good review.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think that has personally, and I've experienced this only a handful of times, but I think in the training process, wouldn't it be a wonderful thing if every time you bought a car or every time you were getting hooked up with a catering hall and being toured and all that kind of stuff, anything that you experience in life, if at the end the salesperson, the manager, whoever it is said, is there anything else that we could have done better? How was your experience with us today? To diffuse the idea that people are going to run out there and give you a bad review before it happens, and have the conversation with them and let them voice their opinion and get their aggression and their anger out right there in front of you, instead of leaving it the way it is and letting them go out there and hit Google. I think
Right.
it should be. I think every person that sells you something should ask, how many times does a server come over and say, when you get your food, is everything okay? Was your food cooked well? Could I get you anything? They're constantly, if they're doing their job correctly, they're constantly giving you the open floor to be able to say, my food wasn't cooked well, or can I, blah, 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 and you can resolve that problem before they destroy the place online.
Correct.
And I think that should be bleeding over into all, and if they say, no, there's nothing you can change, it's been great.
Right.
Could you please leave us a review? That's it. That's when you throw the flag on the field, but no one talks to you that way anymore.
No. The thing is, people don't have the patience anymore because they're so busy, and they want what they want now.
Yeah.
People are not. There's no more patience. There's no more none of that because they have to keep going. They're busy. They got to earn. They got to do this. They got to do that. So people don't have the time. Like yourself, you don't have the time a lot. I don't have the time a lot. And we go somewhere, and if it's not, give me this now, we're getting edgy because I have to go somewhere.
Right.
You have to go somewhere. You go to pick something up, and somebody's there like taking you too long. You're on a time schedule. We all have the watch. We all have everything structured. Time is very important because, one of the things with time is you can't replace time. Money could be replaced. Everything could be replaced. You can't replace time. The time you spent in whatever you do, and that's something you don't get back. That's why people pay you for labor.
Right. Yeah.
This is the whole idea where people pay you for your time.
Yeah.
Because you can't replace the time.
Absolutely.
The 10 years I spent getting these brands together, doing this thing with the veterans, I lost 10 years of my life.
Right.
I was 52 years old when I started. I'm 62 today. Now is when I got this. Now is when we're doing the test for the government. 10 years. It took a decade.
Yeah.
I'm 10 years older, and be blessed that it's only 10 years because there's people that wait a lifetime and don't get it done.
Right.
Okay, be blessed but it took 10 years out of my life. 10 years stressed. 10 years with, Arizona. 10 years, expense. 10 years doing this. But that's what happens. I can't replace that.
Yeah.
I could never go back to 52, could I? No.
Yeah.
I lost that. But if I would lose everything I have money-wise, I can replace that. Money is not the biggest thing because you can replace it. But time, I can never go back now 52.
Yeah.
Impossible. A whole decade went by. And they told me there's people that wait 30 years and don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm lucky that whatever reason or however it is, I have really good partners and I have whatever it is that helped. I'm blessed.
Right.
Because I lost 10 years though.
Yeah.
It's not easy to do anything. For me, it's never been easy to do anything. It's hard work and keep going and keep going. I never had anything easy come to me.
Right.
So I don't know. 10 years it took to get this thing with the veterans going. Imagine 10 years. And I think I've been to Washington since I started this about 10 times.
Right.
And it hasn't been easy. And it's probably not going to be easy either once I have the grant, because now I have to get the veteran audience.
Right.
Then I have to place them. So now is when the work really starts.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, now it's another stress.
Yeah.
Because now it's not like, okay, I got the grants, but then now what am I going to do? I got to have the product.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so now it's a different stress that I'm going to get now, but I'm still stressed out. Now I'm more stressed out about what's happening in Florida and this and the documents and all this kind of stuff. So I'm now more stressed than I ever was.
Right. Right.
I'm not even sleeping at night. I'm so stressed out. So, you know, it's like there's always new stress.
Yeah. Well, don't leave anyone any bad reviews.
No, you can't. You can't leave any bad reviews. I hope I don't get bad reviews. You know, if they want to give me bad reviews, no problem.
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't get a lot of bad reviews, because a lot of people don't like my style or my way. I really could care less, you know, and I'm like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't really have really bad reviews.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
All
but
right.
whoever has their opinion can do a bad review. I mean, go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's about whatever people say, you know, who cares? You know, it doesn't matter. The way I look at it, my business, I'm not having a popularity contest.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's business. Some people like me, some people don't.
Mm-hmm.
So the way it is, I'm not here, you know, having this contest. I'm here trying to do business and earn. It's very tough nowadays to earn because the pricing of everything is so much more expensive. Your cost of operation is off the scale.
Right.
Don't get a
Absolutely.
stomach ache. It'll cost you $1 million. One stomach ache. Okay?
Right.
And today it's like a real problem. Everything it's more expensive and more expensive to do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, to run a business, it was pretty much okay. Now it's just getting more and more expensive. And every day it's getting more expensive because of the advertising. There's the cost of acquisition. It's like really crazy right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
I don't understand why it's so nutty, but it's nutty.
Yeah.
You know, it's really, really amazing.
All right. Well, we
I
know.
want to talk about the VIN retention for 2 minutes.
Okay.
I've had people reach out to me about the Federal Trade Commission. One day, the Federal Trade Commission is going to have this data. And one day, they already have so much data already. They have registration data. They have all these things. They're going to start tracking these cars. Then there's data out there that they're going to have access to that is archived. They're going to know that VIN number, what it was advertised for.
Right.
So when that customer complains to the DA and the DA goes and does that research, be careful, guys. Get straightened out, because one day there might be somebody doing this to us, and then you're going to be mad at that person that just developed technology and software. So
Right.
don't take it personal, okay?
Right.
Because Google shares that type of data all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're on this automotive space in more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
Compliance issues and finance is a big thing. Hire yourself a compliance company in the automotive space. There's plenty of them that are really good. that you're protected. Start protecting yourself because, man, I would hate any of the dealers that I know, any friends that get a $2-3 million fine. And when they come in for big money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Federal Trade Commission is real, is alive. Be very careful because just like I have that, a lot of people also have that. And you know, you can get in trouble. Be careful because data is the new world.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, man. Well, on that note, looking forward to seeing Dr. John next week. I hope he can make the show.
Yeah, he definitely will make the show. He's very excited. I heard from Gene because Gene talks to him. I really talk to him on and off. I'm not around that much, but Gene talks to him and he was very excited.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully everyone out there can tune in, watch, and listen. And that is it. Thanks for another good show, Rich.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right.